Shalom, Yasharallah. Shalom. I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakaga, Dash, whom I worship. Double honors to my elder apostles, great millstone, who taught me this word in sincerity and in truth. So this is part 8. Chapter 4, beginning at chapter 4 of Zechariah, of the book of Zechariah. And we're just going to continue, all right? As always, like I always say, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that the YouTube algorithm could help spread this word. Shalom to the hopeful elect.
And the angel that talked with me came again, and waked me, as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold a candlestick, all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top there.
Yeah, that's describing what is called the menorah, the 7-branched candlestick. Okay. Those are one of the items that the Romans, they have on the, I believe it's called the Ark of Titus. The Ark of Titus describes and shows what the ransacking and the siege of Jerusalem during 70 AD. And what Titus and Vespasian did when they sieged Jerusalem, they ran up in the temple and stole all the holy vessels that were within the temple. Nebuchadnezzar did the same thing. You know. But in the Ark of Titus, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. It shows Esau stealing the menorah along with other holy vessels that were in the temple. And these were the original holy vessels that King Solomon had made and put within the temple. And they were all of pure gold, man. You know? Well, you know, you had some vessels that were pure gold, some that were silver, you know? Alright, so what you're looking at right now is the Ark of Titus, and you know, you had Vespasian and his son Titus. I believe that's the order of it. And they had this erected and made to commemorate the sacking of Jerusalem, the taking down of the kingdom of Judah, you know? And they rejoiced at this because the kingdom of Judah was once a powerful kingdom, especially under King David and King Solomon. So the nations, they rejoiced, and they had the history. All nations have their own, you know, their circular history of world events. So they knew about the Israelites. They knew about the kingdom of Judah, you know, and they knew that at this particular time that the Lord wasn't with them, wasn't with us, you know, and that's why they were able to come in, sack Jerusalem, and take the vessels out of the temple, man. So I'm gonna show you what I was just talking about when it shows how they were how they stole the menorah, took out the menorah from the temple, man, and brought it to them, to where they were at, okay, to Rome. Now all these vessels are somewhere in the earth right now to this day. We don't know where. You know, I mean, that's not important, but you know, these vessels that the heathen stole are in their possessions, man. Well, the main thing that's in their possession is our land, right before our face, just like the scriptures say. When you go to Ezekiel 36 chapter, right? Yeah, so there you go, right here. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, there you go, right there. So you're seeing the Edomite Roman soldiers hauling off the 7-branch golden menorah, man, of pure gold. I'm sure that was heavy as hell, but they took it, man. You know. And you see them right there. See, in the very act of stealing the precious artifacts that were in the temple, man. And who was that? Those were Edomites, man. Those were Edomites. Let me see if I can blow this up. No, it's not allowing me to blow it up. There you go. Yeah, can't blow it up, but you know, you can see it right there for yourself. Also, you can look it up for yourself. You can Google it. Yeah, man. So that's what Esau, these Roman Edomites, did. And these are the same people today. Bunch of thieves and murderers, right? They're gonna pay for that very soon. All right, so let's go back to Zechariah, the 4th chapter.
And said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold a candlestick, all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps which are upon the top thereof, and 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit.
You know, this is a computerized narration software or whatever, so the names, they pronounce them crazy. Zerubbabel, Zerubbabel, that's how you pronounce it. And yeah, so that was an important figure, right along with Joshua the high priest, because the Lord used them to rebuild the temple, you know. And they came back again in our time to do the same thing, to do the same, to go right back into their lot, man. All right, to serve the Lord and be prophets and teachers unto Israel, man. And to rebuild the temple.
Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt.
Right, who art thou? Who art, in verse 7 it says, Who art thou, O great mountain? And this right here is a prophecy against America. America is that great mountain. All right. Mountains in the scriptures represents governments. Hills represent smaller governments. You know.
Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings.
It says, who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain. And the word Zerubbabel means straight up the destroyer of Babylon. Ain't that a bad name? The destroyer of Babylon. Abad Babal. You know? That's how you say it in Hebrew. That was his name. So Zerubbabel in the spirit, that would be King David, okay, the Lord's king. And the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, is gonna raise him back up in these last days and set him up once again as king, because his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, you know. And he will set up King David to sit on his throne forever.
Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, Grace, grace unto it. Moreover the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house, his hands shall also...
Yeah. The hands of Zerubbabel laid the foundation of this house, because they went back to rebuild the temple. Alright? This verse right here is heavy, because who else was Zerubbabel? For brothers that are in the faith, Zerubbabel also came back as Peter. Okay? Like Yahweh Shai told him, thou art what is it? Thou art a stone, and upon this rock where I lay my church. So Peter also was laid the foundation. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai laid the foundation of the church through Peter and built the church upon him. So it's the same thing. This is how you tie that up in the spirit. Alright?
The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house, his hands shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto you. For who hath despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice, and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7, they are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth. Then answered I, and said unto him, What are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick?
Wait, hold up. It says, for who hath despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice, and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel. With those 7, they are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth. It's speaking about the angels, you know. And they run to and fro throughout the whole earth doing the Lord's bidding, right? They come back and forth, back and forth. You know Jacob's ladder, man, right? Jacob saw in that vision, he saw angels ascending and descending from the spiritual world, man. You know, coming to do the Lord's will.
Then answered I, and said unto him, What are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick, and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again, and said unto him, What be these 2 olive branches, which through the 2 golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then said he, These are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. Zechariah Chapter 5. Then I turned, and lifted up mine eyes.
Okay, so Zechariah 4 and 13. And it reads, And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not what these be? I'm sorry, let me read 12. It says, And I answered again and said unto him, What be these 2 olive branches which through the 2 golden pipes emptied the golden oil out of themselves. And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then said he, These are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. Now that represents, Zerubbabel and Joshua the high priest, but also it represents the 2 kingdoms of Israel, okay? The southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah, and the northern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel. Okay, that's like a direct link with Revelation, the 11th chapter, right? Those 2 prophets, that if anybody were to harm them, fire proceedeth out of heaven and will kill anybody who will harm them, That's representing the nation as a whole, the nation of Israel as a whole. And they stand upon the Lord, stand before the eyes of the Lord every day, right? These are the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, mainly the elect of the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, man. So part 9, we will begin with Zechariah, the 5th chapter, and I'm gonna end it there. Shalom.